Okay, this is part 2 of assignment 7. It's basically where you're trying to repeat what you did in part 1, but this time you're using the pro version. You go to the groups, you have to make sure you sign in, and then look for that East Tennessee Huck 12 stream length, which brings up the Huck 12 watersheds of East Tennessee, and I had joined them to the streams, so I know for each watershed how many miles of streams there are in each one. So this is where I was showing you how the left contents are linked to the top tab, which are linked to the right catalog. It's all this. So if you change the word in one place, you change the word in all of them. So there I renamed it to natural breaks, and you'll see that it changes it in the other two places too. See? Boom. And then you can and I'm just showing you how you would change the symbology. You have to make sure you actually clicked on the layer and then right click and go to symbology. It brings the menu over on the right, and just like we did in the other map, we have to change graduated symbols to graduated colors. It does default to natural breaks in 5 classes in the pro version, and then I said if you could just find some ramp similar to the one that we used in the other maps, which is kind of a yellow to blue. You can show the names of the ramps if that comes in handy. If someone ever asks you like a specific ramp color, that's how you would get to that. And then I asked you to take a look at the histogram, which is the same one that you made in the chart in the first map, in the online map. And then I also said, let's format the symbols by changing the number of decimal places from 6 to 1. Some of you changed them to 0, and really 1 was more appropriate. And one person changed it to significant digits of 0, which meant that all the numbers showed up as 0. So that was not right. It was just supposed to be significant decimal places rounded off to 1, because I think it defaults to like 6. And then I'm just copying and pasting the maps over in that right menu, the catalog menu, and renaming them. Now remember, just renaming them does not change the classification system. You actually have to go into each layer and change it. Now for this assignment, I decided to just ask you to do natural breaks in equal interval. But here I'm showing you how you would actually do exactly the same assignment as you did in the first part, where you would be making the 4 different classification maps. Now we could have just put them all as layers in one map. And some of you did that. I didn't take off any points, but that's not what I asked you to do. I was asking you to make 4 different maps. So that's what this, and you can see how they show up at the top in those tabs. I mean, they're 4 different maps. And you might ask yourself, why? Well, you could make if you have 4 different maps, you could make a nice little handout that shows all 4 on one handout. It would be tricky if the 4 of them are all on one map, because how would you turn one on and one off? It would be trickier to make a print copy of all 4 classifications. So now you see I'm actually going through and changing the classifications for each one of the layers in each one of the maps. So as I said, once again, you didn't have to do quantile and standard deviation, but I'm just showing you how you would have done that. You always have to be in the layer, and you right click, go to symbology, and then you pick the right classification method. And as I said, these had all defaulted to 5, except for standard deviation, which uses just 1 standard deviation. So this is what I'm showing you. I tried to create a chart, and it didn't work. All it did was just kind of glitch at me for forever. Oh, no, I take it back. That's right, because I do this on my home computer, not on the Citrix version. I couldn't get this to work on Citrix. So that's why I didn't ask you guys to do it, because it was very frustrating. So you can see you can basically, in the actual installation, local install of Pro, you can get the chart to work just fine. And then you could actually add that to a print document. You could have the 4 different maps, and then you would have, like I'm showing you here, like you could have this a letter-sized 8.5 by 11 sheet, and you could be putting these maps in a frame on that print sheet, and then you could add the chart in there too. So just showing you, as I said, you didn't have to do this for your assignment, but I thought it would be fun just showing you that you can actually do something with these different maps. by putting them in a little brochure or something like that.